Caroline, thank you so much for joining us today on this week's episode of Interviews with Experts. It's great to speak with you again.
Thanks for asking me. It's good to be here.
Brilliant. So for those of you listening, Caroline Sanderson joining us today, also known as the Salon Jedi, and author of the best-selling book, The Salon Jedi, the big business breakthrough for ambitious salon owners, which, by the way, is not just a bestseller in one category or even two, but 7. So I'm so excited to speak with you, Caroline. We're going to be talking a bit about achieving that bestseller status, why the inspiration behind writing the book and some of the exciting things you're working on. To get started, would you mind just letting everyone know a little bit about you, your sort of journey through entrepreneurship and building your brands?
Sure. So I am a salon owner. So I own a hair salon myself and have done for many years. But back in 2009, during the recession, the last recession, I found myself, to cut a long story short, I found myself at rock bottom. Literally, I opened my business because I was a good hairdresser. I was good at that and thought, yeah, well, I can open a business. But didn't have a clue about business, marketing, anything at all. I thought just being a good hairdresser would be enough. And by 2009, I found out that that definitely is not the case. And I found myself really, on the verge of closing my salon doors, basically, going through personal issues, and I'd gone over the VAT threshold without realizing it. I was going through a divorce. It was literally, that crumbling moment in life where everything stacks up against you. And I was really thinking about closing the salon doors. And then I thought, maybe I could sell it. Maybe it's worth something. Maybe I could sell it. And I had it valued. And I always remember the gentleman saying to me, it was worthless. It wasn't worth anything, because we hadn't been making profits and all that kind of stuff. And that was just something that really kicked in, that I realized, oh my goodness, I've been working my butt off building this place and it's worthless. Where are the profits? So I made a decision that I was going to turn it around and really see what I was truly capable of doing, because up until that point, I think it's fair to say that I hadn't given it my all. You think you do, but I hadn't really, because I knew nothing about marketing, advertising, anything like that, or mindset. I'm big on mindset, and none of those things I knew anything about. And that was when I decided, right, I am going to give this a go. I'm going to see what I'm truly capable of. And I set out to learn, and I looked for mentors. So to begin with, it was things like books, blogs, free content, etc. And then, really implementing and taking action. And then as, things started to change and started to see results, then I would step up a bit with the mentors. So then I'd maybe go on a course, or then I'd meet them in person, etc. Till eventually at the stage now where I'm in mastermind groups and all that kind of stuff. So mentorship has been a big thing for me. So then when I did turn it around, and I really, really did turn it around from this failing salon brand to known as, in the top 1% or whatever you would say within the UK, even though it's a small salon brand, we have won or been nominated for over 100 awards in our niche. And I make profits, I've got a solid business, all that kind of stuff. But the pact that I made with myself was that as I found this stuff out and started to turn my own business around, that I would share this with other people. And by 2010, just the year after I was almost closing my doors, that's when I started coaching other salon owners. And one of the first things I did actually was, I was the first person in the world, as far as I'm aware, because I searched at the time, but I was the first person in the world to create a Facebook marketing course specifically for salons.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, back in 2010, because I was kind of mastering Facebook for my business back then. And most people, well, in my industry, they weren't even using Facebook for business at that time. And that was the first course, and it was a digital course, actually. I was into doing all the digital stuff back then, and that was the very first thing that I ever did, and it's just grown from there. So, yeah.
It's amazing. And so I love the different ways that sort of content, if you like, has entered into your branding journey and your business journey. And something that, that's very clear is that you've taken a lot of time to study not just business mastery as a whole, but marketing in particular. And it's something that you're, clearly very good at. There's a whole section on the book, in the book on marketing, isn't there? And your knowledge of marketing and sort of knowing which levers to pull on has obviously contributed to this amazing success with your book, which, has just went straight to bestseller, and it was in 7 different Amazon categories as well, which is just incredible. What were some of the key sort of principles, if you like, that you found of stood the test of time and stayed true, and that you kind of referred to when you were marketing your book?
For the marketing of the book, do you mean stood the test of time as in what's in the book, the content of the book that I'm teaching other people, or do you mean what did I use marketing the book myself?
That's a good question. I meant actually what you used to market the book yourself. However, it could be either, to be honest.
Okay. So the marketing of the book, really, it was obviously building up to it. So it's, creating that interest around it and really building up to it and seeding it before it was even launched and all that kind of stuff, and really leveraging my list. So last year, for example, we did over 30 events, live events. Obviously with COVID, that's, that sort of scuppered that. We went to digital, but so I have, a decent sized list, not a massive list actually, not a massive list, but a decent sized list, but a really good, like a strong list. So we were seeding it, and we did the 48-hour, so there was scarcity there, of course, was the big interest around it, and then of course adding the scarcity of the 48 hours, we did a lower rate, so it was just $4.99 for the first 48 hours. Of course, we also gave a free event away as well. So anyone who bought the book in that time frame, the first week of launch, to get access to a free training event. And now what we're doing as well is, now they're getting their copies of the book, we're running a competition, like a tag across social media and Instagram, where they tag certain hashtags with the book, and it's been great fun actually. I definitely recommend it, because it's spreading around social media, but we're getting such funny things, like Yoda reading the book, and we had R2D2 reading the book, and we've had kids, some of the readers' kids dressing up as me in my sort of avatar. I have like a Jedi avatar, if you like, dressing up as, and it runs actually through the book. You've got the little avatar icon that runs through the book, and I had somebody dress up like their daughter with every emotional avatar, the one that's crying, the one that's happy, all that. So it's actually been really fun, but that's been helping keep the book front of mind as well. We also are running Amazon ads. That's the first time that I've ever done that. And we're also running Facebook ads. So we were, and I was running Facebook ads to my warm audience, if you like. So people who have already, like, I've created a strong custom audience of people who are already aware of me. They've either, watched my videos, or they've my pixels picked them up on the website, or they've been to my Instagram or Facebook page, etc. So I've got them all in a nice sort of custom audience, and I ran the book to those, and also Messenger. So I've already got like Messenger subscribers, so of course I ran it to them as well. So we had quite a few different things going on, a lot around Facebook, and that's my kind of niche, if you like. So we did a lot around that, but other stuff as well. And then of course I did my research into the categories. So looking at getting it into the right categories, looking at things, that would be my tip, if you like. Looking at, in the categories, what has been recently launched, or what looks like there's nothing really that strong at the moment that's recently been launched. I know that you never ever truly know, but that was kind of how I approached it, was looking at that. So yeah, the giving extra value, the scarcity, seeding it early, and then keeping it running is keeping that interest, prize giveaways and stuff like that, and keeping that interest going. Ended up getting it Number one in 7 categories. Woohoo!
It's such an amazing result. 7 categories. It's just
Yeah.
fantastic. And this is just for, just to reiterate how brilliant that is to everyone listening. This all happened in about 48 hours, didn't it? This wasn't like,
Yeah. Yeah, it was because well, it's not even been launched a week yet, I don't
no,
think.
I think it came out last Saturday afternoon, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was last weekend, wasn't it? It came out, I think. So yeah, it was. So what happened was the first thing it did was it became the fastest ranking. So you know how you have, your fastest growth at ranking. So because it jumped to, what was it? It was out of 6 million books or whatever it is across Amazon. We jump up to from obviously not ranking at all because it was my first book to, I think it was like number 270 out of all the books out of the 6 million books, which was incredible in itself. The fact that it's such a niche book, it's a niche market. So jump up to about number 270. So it got in the top 300 for a niche book. I thought was really good. So then it was number one. So it was number one on Amazon as the fastest ranking or the highest growth ranking, whatever you call it. So that was the first kind of number one, whatever achievement that we had, and that was within 24 hours. So it was like, oh, this is looking good. And then it was within a few days. It wasn't quite within the 48 hours that it became the bestseller. But it was within a few days. It was within a week anyway, because it's not even been launched a week. But yeah, we kind of just kept our eye on it, and we tweaked certain categories and stuff like that. And yeah, next thing we knew, we looked at it, and we could see, you know how like at the bottom of your profile, if you've got, I think it shows you 3 that you're maybe ranked in. And it was like number one, number one, number one. But then we decided to, well, I wonder what number we are in the other categories. So we had it listed down. So we thought, oh, we'll just go in and have a look. And as we went in and we started looking at the categories, it was like, oh, we're number one in there as well. Oh, we're number one in there as well. And we counted it up, that there were 7. The 8th one, I think I need to go back in and have a look, but we were number 6 at that point. So I need to go back in and have a look actually, but we were number 6 in that one. I think it was some footballer that was number 1 in that category. Didn't quite
knock him off.
Yeah. But I'll take 7.
Definitely. Yeah, it's fantastic, and it was just so great to see. Like you say, you had first of all, it was the movers and shakers list, wasn't it, on Amazon?
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yes, and then it was 3, and then it was, oh my gosh, 7. So and just so well deserved as well, because it's also a fantastic book, and obviously a lot goes into coordinating a campaign. You've got a lot of knowledge and expertise in that area. You've got such a strong brand, and the link to the book will be in the description of this podcast episode. So I really encourage everyone to check it out, because when Caroline says she has this Salon Jedi avatar, it actually is, she's turned herself into an avatar, and there's one for each chapter through the book. So anyway, really, really strong branding, but also, a lot went into you've given a lot in the content of the book itself as well, haven't you? You've really shared a huge amount of expertise, and so much so that it's so relevant, not just to salon owners who are looking for that business breakthrough, but in my opinion, any business owner actually. Can you tell us a bit about, what inspired you to write the book, why it was important to you to share all of that?
Yeah. I mean, you're right when you say that, because I actually, although I train salon owners, I also, in the last year when I was doing my coaching, we taught a lot of small business owners as well. And there is a lot of those that have bought the book as well. So because it's all transferable. And really, that's my inspiration for writing the book, was just, there I am, I'm teaching all the time. I'm doing all the coaching. I've got all my school, my academy, all that kind of stuff. And I am giving away other people's books, and I'm recommending other people's books. And I'm thinking, why do I not have something like that? When I'm running my events and I'm giving away, which I still do, I recommend other books, that of course, but I should really, when you're at that level, you should really have your own, you're an authority in your field, and you should have something written down. And also because it's not everybody that can afford to invest at the level that I charge when I'm at the, the higher end into my academy. So, I mean, something that's £5 that's got so much stuff in it, or £15 when when the price is as it should be. Anything. I mean, anyone can afford that. If you're running a business, if you can't afford that and you are an entrepreneur running a business, then you are in serious trouble. But I thought I want to fill this with really good content. It wasn't really a case of holding things back. It's got my 4 keys in there that I believe are absolutely fundamental, particularly to a business that, if you want to get out of the business and not work on the tools and it's automated and runs without you, which my salon does, I don't have to be there. It's profitable, it's automated, etc. And there's my 4 keys really are mindset. Mindset is the foundation. That's you. It's the business is a reflection of you. So mindset is the foundation. Then once you're ready, then it's the marketing to get the customers in. And then once the customers are coming in and you're getting super busy, then it's management. We need the management for it to run well. And then the last section, of course, is the maintenance. Some people get so busy and then they start dropping the ball, or you want to maintain it so it runs without you. So systems really, in systemizing that business, that you can leave it and go and write a book and become a bestseller. And do that kind of stuff. So yeah, that was the sort of inspiration behind it. Was I wanted something that people can buy into at a really low level, but also it's building your authority. And I wanted to pack it with really good content, so I didn't really hold anything back on that side.
Yeah, and it's paid off. It's a fantastic book. I have my copy right here. So exciting. And I really encourage those of you listening to go out and grab a copy as well, because there are just some gems in this book, and also throughout this episode, no doubt you would have picked up some fantastic tips on the marketing front from Caroline as well. Caroline, it's been fantastic having you. Where can people find you and the book?
Well, the book's on Amazon. Anywhere that you are in the world that you're listening to this, it's everywhere. Just type it in and Google the Salon Jedi. I'm on Instagram and LinkedIn, again, the Salon Jedi or Caroline Sanderson, and mostly you'll find me on Facebook. And I have a podcast as well, which is called the Mindful Salon Jedi. So I have my own podcast as well. It's really more about mindset within business. So an example of some of my guests that I've had are Rob Moore, John Assaraf, Matt Wilson, Andy Harrington, to name a few. So I like to look outside of my industry for inspiration and interview them in my podcast, and then bring it back to my industry. But it's good for anyone to listen to, not just those in the salon industry. I keep it generic, really, so anybody could listen to it, really, and get enjoyment from it.
Perfect. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Okay, thank you. Thanks so much.